Welcome to the Warm Guys. Today's video, we're going to be doing a top 5 ranking with the top 5 quarterbacks, running backs, and pass catchers in the draft for this year's draft class. And so we're going to start off by doing quarterbacks. This has been a video we've been wanting to do for a while, and it's going to be a fun one because I think that this draft class has a lot of controversial opinions with different players and different takes on different players. Who's going to be better, who's not. So this should be fun. So we'll start off by doing quarterbacks, and I'll start with my number one quarterback.
This is a draft special episode. It's going to be broken down into multiple parts. We have some more special episodes coming soon. We're really excited about this episode and getting ready for the draft here. It's one of probably the best times of the year. So you continue on in your draft or your
part of the offseason, in my opinion.
What?
So for the NFL is the draft. It's really exciting.
Yeah, go for it.
But I'll start off with my number one quarterback, and I think this is honestly pretty easy for everyone. I mean, he's been probably the number one quarterback ever since he's touched the college football field. But it's obviously Trevor Lawrence is number one for me. I think one thing about him is just he has the maturity level of an NFL starter right now, and he is going to step into the league and just be able to take control and be a leader. And I think a lot of guys are going to have a lot of respect for him already because, this man can play. This man can ball. 2018, he was a true freshman and took Clemson to a national championship and won. That's the first thing. So, first thing, I think he has a great arm talent. And, he's probably, I want to say, about probably the second best arm talent in this draft right now. But this man can just throw. And I'll show you a clip of this, which should be easy. But see the guy up here, he's going to be throwing down to the end zone. It's just honestly a perfect pass straight to the end zone. He just winds back and throws an absolute dot, perfectly out in front of his wide receiver that only he can get it, and that's the first off. So then, talk about that. That he's got the arm talent, and he has arm talent to be in the NFL right now, and I think that's just great. Next thing I think I like about him a lot is that he's kind of tall, but you kind of look at him, he's like you're not sure if he's kind of like can run the ball, but he can run. He can run very well, actually. And I think that's going to help him out in the NFL, being able to be mobile and like that. So this next clip I have, I think is a great clip because if you watch it, this play is he takes the ball and he it's an option play and he just beats the linebacker to the outside. Now he has to get around the linebacker to get into the end zone, and he outruns him to get to the end zone and makes this good play. He's tough. He plays hard, and I think that's just a great clip of his running. He has the will to run, and he's not afraid to take a hit and stuff. But also, a great thing about him is also he knows when to take a hit. He knows when to go down, which I think is great. So that's for my Trevor Lawrence. And like I said, in 2018, he threw 65% with 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. And his completion percentage has gone up since then. And then his yards have gone up. But last year, since of COVID, they played less games. So he still threw pretty good and his touchdowns has gone up too. So I think that's great. My second quarterback in my ranking is, I think a lot of people have Zach Wilson at number 2, and they have it penciled in like, oh, he has great arm talent. But I want to say that Justin Fields is actually my second quarterback because I think that he's very underrated, and people think that.
Whoa. No.
People underrate him because people are saying that he's going to be like drafted like the 5th quarterback in the draft or the 4th quarterback in the draft. And I think that's absurd.
It's all over the place. I've seen a bunch of different reports. I don't think he's underrated at all. He was actually coming out of high school considered the best quarterback to go to the NFL until Trevor Lawrence took over.
Well,
But
this is my big.
yeah,
This is my biggest point. I agree with you. He came out with Trevor Lawrence and he was right there, right
Mhm.
alongside of him. And he I feel like he hasn't moved from that spot. But somehow from the end of this last college football season and to now, there hasn't been a single ball thrown. There hasn't been a single game played. And somehow he's gone from being the number 2 quarterback down to like maybe the 4 or 3. And I think it's just absurd. I'm like, how has that happened? There
it just
hasn't been any
comes.
games played.
It just comes with the pro days. Like all these people, like they
But,
show like their stats or whatever, but like in game, you can see that this guy's like the guy. So
well, he had a great pro day. He's 6'3", 228, and he can run a 4.4. That's
yeah, I mean he's an
amazing.
athlete. He's an athlete.
He is so athletic. And the
And
thing
he's
is,
got
in
an
Ohio
arm.
State, yeah, in Ohio State, he didn't really run the ball that much when he was there. He didn't have to. He kind of liked to stay in the pocket and just throw it. And I mean that's good too, but he's still mobile and he's still athletic and he can make plays outside of the pocket and run up the field and get those first downs and stuff. So I think that right there is just amazing. So my first throw is right here. So this video just talk about his arm talent and the accuracy in this play. I mean, I think this is just a perfect ball to the corner. And so you watch the top player at the top of the screen and just a perfect ball thrown into the end zone, like just perfectly thrown into the corner right here. I think that was an amazing throw and great thing about him.
I'm doing a podcast.
But
Yeah.
my next thing is that also he has that's a great accuracy throw, but I think that another thing is that his arm talent is there too with his arm strength. Now, this play right here, I think this is perfectly thrown too, and he throws it right above the defender so that he can get it and makes the jumping ball. Just look at that, it's an amazing throw. And like I said, he has the great arm talent. I think that he's the second best quarterback in the draft, and I think he even makes a statement. I think the one thing that keeps Trevor Lawrence from being the number 1 quarterback in this draft is only because he's more mature and he has better IQ. Other than that, I think that Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are right alongside beside each other. And so the one thing about Justin Fields is that he kind of stares down people, and I think that's the what hurts him the most is that he stares down his wide receivers and corners or defensive back or linebackers can pick that up. So on this play here, I can't remember which linebacker it is, but he's going to throw to this dude, and he just stares him down the entire time. So this guy's going to come up and pick this off, and you can watch his head as he just stares him down the entire time. And so that safety just read it like a book. So that's the only thing I have for him is that the only bad thing is that he stares at the wide receivers for too long, but you can work with that in the NFL and you can make that better and fix that. I mean, he's a born leader. As you see, he played in the championship with through 6 touchdowns, but was at 80% with a hip injury. And then he played in the national championship injured. So I think that just shows great leadership. So I'm gonna move on to my third quarterback, and I think this might surprise a lot of people, but I actually like Trey Lance at number 3. I think that he has probably just the same amount of arm talent that Zach Wilson has, but he can run. And I get that he played in a D2 school and stuff, and I get all that, but one thing I think that you can't deny is that his game as a runner, I don't care. He could do the same thing at a D1 school. I don't care. You can just look at it. So with that, so in our video, I think this is an amazing run by him. So he sees that nothing's there. He's going to take off and just move down. He got some good speed. He has good size. He can take some hits. Gets out of the pocket. He's 6'4", 226. The big thing about I want to read this. In 2019, they won the championship, the D2 championship. So he threw 66.9% and 2,786 yards and 28 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He had no interceptions of the season. And then he also ran for 1,100 yards with 14 rushing touchdowns.
He didn't play
Those
this
are
year,
great
did he?
numbers. What?
He didn't play this year, did he?
He played one game this year, I think.
Yeah, what happened?
It was just COVID stuff. So
Okay.
they were gonna try to play more games, but they ended up getting canceled due to COVID. So they only played one game. It was an all right game for him, but I just think that his ability to get out of the pocket and run, and he just moves down the field. It kind of reminds me of like a Cam Newton when he comes out of Auburn.
Mhm.
With the way he can run. So the next thing is that, like I said, I think he has the same amount of arm talent that Zach Wilson has. I don't think it's like, honestly, like it's not like he's the only one who can throw a ball that deep down the field. So this play right here, I think this is a great play by Trey Lance. He just has a great throw. He's just moving down the field. He steps into it. You can see his hips move as he throws. Watch that fall through, and it's just an amazing throw. You can look at it. Just look at his hips.
It looks easy
Great.
for him.
It looks like it was ease. And so I love that. I love that play so much because he has good mechanics, in my opinion. And I think that there is good to work with because you don't have to fix anything when he comes in the NFL. And then he can run. So he's my number 3 quarterback, and I think that surprised a lot of people. But then I'm going to have my next one is going to be Zach Wilson. Right here. 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. It's not.
You're good.
Okay, so Zach Wilson. This is I think that he does have the best arm talent in the draft. But the thing with him is that the thing I don't like about him is that he doesn't make good reads, in my opinion. I think that he doesn't make good reads, and the only way he gets out of that is because of his arm talent. He can like zip the ball into that spot when he's waiting too late to throw it, and I think that saves him right now. But I think once he gets in the NFL, it's going to hurt him a lot because one, the defense is a lot better, and these players are a lot better, and they're going to jump on that. And so, first thing is I want to talk about like he has a good throw. He has a good throw. You can see it here. As he throws it down the field. I mean, just a great play.
Oh, he's got arm
Good
talent.
ball. Yeah, arm talent. But I mean, arm talent's not gonna get you. Yeah, but that's not going to get you through the NFL. Yeah, it does help. But what I'm saying is that him having bad reads is what's getting through college right now. It's getting through him college and getting him in through college. It's not going to get him through the NFL. So with that, like I'm going to show this play right here. So right here. So he's going to throw this ball late, and he's not going to catch it, but it's going to get his wide receiver in a bad position to catch this and almost get knocked out by this freaking safety right here. You're going to see this guy at the top, and he just waits too long. And so when he waits too long, it puts his wide receiver in a bad position. So he comes off a slant route, and he just waits way too long. And then
terrible. Why just got laid up?
Yeah. And so he's not going to earn the respect of his wide receivers if he's throwing it to them like that.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches will fix that up, though. That's something that timing, it just comes with a team trusting the receivers. So,
yeah, but and then also I think another thing is he also like misses like wide open throws and tries to make these plays out of nothing when he could take an easy check down. So
yeah,
he's going to end up throwing to this guy, and then this guy's going to be wide open over here, and he just doesn't look for that at all.
Yeah,
he's not surveying the field like he should.
I have the same thing on him.
Yeah. So he's going to come. This tight end's going to come across, and then there's the other slot wide receiver right here is going to come across, and he's not going to make the good read. He's wide open over here, just wide open. All these guys are not even looking at him, and he tries to make this throw. That's not the best. Yeah, so I mean that's the biggest thing on him. I don't think he makes good reads, and I think it's going to affect him in college and NFL because his arm talent's not going to get him through that. Last, I'm going to have Mac Jones, who Mac Jones, I think, is still good, and I think people underestimate him a lot. And I'm not really sure why. Because I mean, I know he understands he played on like the best team and he won championship, but with that, he also threw for 73.5 completion rate, and that was the best out of all these 5 quarterbacks. He threw for oh, no, that was wrong. Sorry.
Skip that ad.
Yeah. He
Skip
threw
that ad.
for
Get that out of here. Get that out of here.
he threw for 77.4 completion, which is the best completion rate out of all the quarterbacks. He's had 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So it's not bad. The bad thing about him, he has no mobility, and he's not as athletic as the rest of the quarterbacks are. He can't run out of the pocket. He can't make plays. He's just he's not the most athletic quarterback in this draft. And so, but I think the biggest thing, I think he's very consistent and he can make throws, very good throws, and make them consistently. Like this one, Devonta Adams is going to be at the top, and he's going to be running the slant route.
Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be throwing this slant route, and he's going to throw it right out in front of him perfectly. And I think it was a great catch by Devonta Smith, but I think it was a good throw too because if you watch it, the corner is like right behind him. I think that was a good throw, and he does that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He does that a lot throughout the season. Yeah, he threw those a lot. So he was consistent with those. And then I think he's not as bad as like athletically. I think he has really good pocket presence, and you can see that in this play because he sees the pressure coming and he gets out of the pocket.
Yep.
You can see that linebacker right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ends up avoiding him, and he's going to throw it to Najee Harris right here. But yeah, he's going to end up avoiding him, making this throw right here. So, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I guarantee if it was Tom Brady in the pocket right there, he was going down.
Yeah.
But so it's not as bad as people think it is. That's my quarterbacks. Yeah, so I have
shocking. It's shocking.
Yeah, shocking. I have Trey Lance 3. So I have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and then Mac Jones.
All right. Well, mine's a little bit different than that. I'm excited to show you what I got here. Let me pull this out. So my first quarterback, everybody's first quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, of course. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about him here. What I saw from Trevor Lawrence, he's a lot smarter than everyone thinks he is. He's probably the smartest quarterback in this draft. His timing is amazing. He's polished. He has accuracy on the move. I think that's a big one to have as an NFL quarterback. He can really throw those quick throws, and he's just fundamentally sound. He's going to go into the Jaguars program. He's going to go in decently ready, or more ready than a lot of quarterbacks coming out of college. So let me share this. See, that wasn't the best of pass, but he has some passes where it's just like kind of crazy on how trustworthy he is of his receivers and his timing. His timing is perfect on a lot of these throws. He has pretty good pocket presence. He gets out when he sees pressure. He moves in the pocket well, and he's actually a very mobile quarterback at the same time. Other than that, I don't really have too much to say about Trevor Lawrence. He's the best quarterback in this draft, and the Jaguars are very lucky to get him.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Next quarterback I got, this is my number 2, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is my number 2. And you say that getting him through college, I heard, that's the I mean, what do you mean getting him through college?
Great arm talent, but I'm going to say is that he was getting through college with his arm talent, like making those throws with his arm talent, not making good reads. And I think that's going to affect him because if he makes those same reads in the NFL, it's not going to be a completed pass or even be a bad down pass. It's going to be an interception. He's going to be throwing picks. And so that's why I think that if he just tries to rely on his arm talent, it's not going to work out for him.
That's true. I mean, but here's the thing: when not in college, you want your quarterback to be a little bit of ballsy because it is college. And I think in the NFL, when he gets to a pro level team, the coaches are really gonna teach him a lot more about checking down, and like he's gonna realize that these guys are a lot faster than what he may see in college. So with that being said, I think Zach Wilson is the second best quarterback in this class for a bunch of reasons. I don't think it's because he's better than some of these other guys, but I think some of these other guys have more flaws. Why is there another ad? I literally just clicked through two of them. Okay. But anyways, Zach Wilson, there's Coastal Carolina. This was a big game for him. Coastal Carolina was a great defense coming into this game, and I thought that he very underplayed this game. He didn't evaluate his opponent very well. And so with that being said, he's going to have a hard time starting off in the NFL. I think he will. But I think over time, he's going to be a developmental player, kind of like Josh Allen. I know there's a lot of comparisons of Zach Wilson and Josh Allen out there. And looking more of his film, I see it. He's got the arm talent. He's got the mobility. He's a flashy player. But at the same time, he tries to extend plays a lot farther than let's just get into this. He tries to extend plays. And then there was a couple moments in this game. I don't have them planned out, but there's a couple moments of the game where he had 3rd and 5, 3rd and 2, and he tried to make a big play out of nothing where he could have just checked down and got the first down. And then the NFL, in the NFL, you can't be doing that. You got to move the chains. That's one of the best qualities a quarterback can have in order to just move the chains, keep the chains going. And so with that being said, I think he's the number 2 quarterback in this draft. Next on my list is.
I have a question with you, though. I have a question for you.
Go for it.
So, I think you're right that he needs to learn to take those like first downs and to not try to make the big play, because in the NFL it's okay to take that first down and move down the field, and you're gonna need that, especially for a rookie quarterback. But do they have a coaching staff? If he goes to like the Jets, which I think that he will. I think he'll go to the Jets.
Better coaching staff than college.
Do you think there's a coaching staff that can fix those mistakes and make him the quarterback that they need him to be? Because he needs to be not just like fix those mistakes, but he needs to be a leader on the Jets. They're gonna have no one there. They need someone that can drive them down the field and to make that winning play. And I think there was one thing that was said, I think Sam Darnold, that they like this past year, they lost like most of their games, like 7 of the games by like a touchdown.
Who?
The Jets did this year. I think they lost like 7 of their games by a touchdown. And they just needed someone that could drive down the field and get that winning touchdown. And they never had it. Yeah. So I'm asking, do you think that the Jets can make him into the leader and the winning quarterback that need him to be?
Eventually, yes. He's going to have to if he's going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. But if he doesn't, then he's going to be a failure. And I just think taking the chance on Zach Wilson, he has a lot greater ceiling than a lot of these other quarterbacks. As of right now, I think Zach Wilson's a more polished quarterback than someone like Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Maybe not Mac Jones, but he has more talent. So my next quarterback is Justin Fields, and I love Justin Fields. I was high on Justin Fields throughout all of college. I loved everything about him. I loved his mobility, his arm strength. I love the passes he made. He's a little bit flashy at times. He's insanely accurate. He has arm talent out the wazoo. He's a very confident player. He tries to fit things into tight windows, and sometimes he makes it in those tight windows. He can throw on the move really well, but he's very tough as well. But at the same time, he has a very hard time of going through progressions. But that can be learnable. But that's something that takes time. Another a really bad thing at the moment is he has bad pocket awareness. He is very stiff at times in the pocket. And I think that with that being said, that's going to be a very hard time in the NFL if he doesn't go to a team that has a very good offensive line. If his offensive line is good, he's going to be successful in the first year. I think he's going to go to the 49ers, and their offensive line is pretty good. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to make that offense around him, and I think he's going to be doing very well in the offense. But at the same time, he needs to improve his pocket awareness. That is something that in the NFL you need to do, as there is pass rushers that are very dangerous out there. And if you can't get that down, then he's going to take a lot of sacks, and sacks are the most detrimental thing to a series going down the field.
Yeah.
So with my next quarterback, I have Trey Lance. I'm just not going to show any film on him. I don't think there's very much film to show. I haven't seen very much of him. He does play at D2 college. I think that his arm talent and his just talent alone is very, very good, but he does not play against the best of competition. I think that's what's going to drop him in the draft. Some of these other schools, some of these other guys, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, they all play against better competition. They've seen faster cornerbacks, faster defenses, tougher defensive schemes from these other teams that they played, and Trey Lance has just not seen that. I also was watching Trey Lance, and he missed a lot of throws that whenever I was watching him, he didn't have the best of accuracy. And so I just don't think that he is one of the top 3 guys. Finally, my 5th ranked quarterback is Mac Jones. And Mac Jones is coming out of Alabama, which means he's well coached. He's very polished, and he has a lot of his fundamentals down. He knows how to trust the receivers. He knows how to trust NFL wide receivers. He's been playing around an NFL-like team throughout his college. So I think him going to NFL, he's going to be a safe play for a team that just wants to find a quarterback that is just going to be safe and going to be a safe acquisition to their team. So with that being said, I think Mac Jones is the 5th ranked quarterback because he is polished and he knows how an NFL working offense. So.
All right. Okay. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that you had Justin Fields at number 3 instead of number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think the reason I put Justin Fields as number 2, that's what I was going to tell you. Zach Wilson, I put Zach Wilson's ahead of Justin Fields is because that pocket awareness. I think that's really big in the NFL. You got to have pocket awareness, and his pocket awareness is not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Well, I think that, like you were saying, that if he goes to the 49ers, which that could happen and stuff, I think that could be fixed. And it kind of just – it's hard to it all depends on what quarterback gets, like, where they go to. Because, like I said, I think that if Zach Wilson goes to the Jets, which I think so, I don't think he's going to have as good a career, say, Justin Fields if he goes to the 49ers. It's just simple. Because you have better stars around you, better coaching staff. But if I had to take someone to go to the Jets, I think that Justin Fields would be better because I think that he's already a leader. And you wouldn't have to work that into Zach Wilson. Because being a leader is something kind of you can't really teach. You got something you got to learn by yourself and go through that. And I just don't think Zach Wilson has that. So
when we're referring to a leader, Zach Wilson was not the team captain of his team. So that's when we refer to a leader. We want someone that is going to be the team captain to lead that team through a win. So with that being said, let's move on to running backs. I'll go first this time. My number 1 overall running back is Najee Harris. This man is a straight up beast. He has pure vision. He's a natural pass catcher. He does drop balls sometimes, but he's a very good pass catcher. He finds a way to get yards when there's nothing there. And that's the one thing I really like about him. And one of the bad things I see with Najee Harris is that sometimes he tries to be too shifty whenever he is a naturally bigger back, and he can just ram through a lot of the guys and pick up more yards than trying to be shifty and allowing other guys to swarm him. And the other bad thing with Najee Harris is he is a very bad pass blocker as well. He needs to improve on that in order to be a 3-down back, but I think that's something that he can work on. I'm going to show you some clips of what I have.
Especially with the size. With the size, he can be a good pass blocking running back.
Yeah, so just when you look at this, he is just he's fast too. Like he's not slow.
Yeah,
he's pretty fast with it. He also his his vision at times is really good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him pass block right there. That was something that he didn't
Mhm.
do. His vision right there, getting those yards, still fighting for the first down. Love to see that. This is a big game too against a Notre Dame defense that was very dominant all season, and he took on 4 guys right there, and he's still dragging them. I have a mark here. Oh gosh, where is it? Maybe it's right here. Hold on. Let's watch this play though. Yeah, we're gonna watch this play. So this is a great play by Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not him. Yeah, this is him. You can see the vision pushing out to outside, his athletic ability right there, and then his burst away speed on the very end.
Mhm.
He does get caught, which his speed isn't at tip-top shape, but he is athletic enough to get all those yards.
Yeah.
I was going to show you some clips, but we'll just move on to the next one. My second running back is Travis Etienne. Now with Travis Etienne, his elusiveness is what put him in my number 2 spot. I think he's very elusive. I think his vision at times is probably the best vision out of anyone in this running back class. He can catch the ball. The one thing he needs to work on well is his pass blocking. I think a lot of these running backs need to work on their pass blocking. Do you have anything to say about Travis Etienne?
I like him. I will say but like Najee Harris I think that he's on a different level compared to the rest of the running backs. I'll just leave it at that. So I think it was kind of hard for me to place number 2 and 3, but Travis Etienne is probably my second too.
Yeah, he is a great. So this game was very big. I think this game was very big for Travis Etienne as well. This was the game that Trevor Lawrence was out, so he needed to step up. This is the 2 undefeated teams on the season. And at first he looked a little bit nervous and wasn't getting anything going. But eventually he started picking it up. His nerves were gone. And then he played like he was playing all year. And I can show that. 5. I think it's right here. Yeah, this is it. So this catch right here, this is where I say he is a great catcher. Look at this catch. This is third down and 5.
That was behind him.
Yeah, he caught that behind him. Great balance, great hands. Defender was straight in front of him, and he still caught this ball. So I like that about him. And then there's one play that this is where he shows his true vision. And it was right here. It's this next play. And this is why I love Travis Etienne. His vision right. Is it this one? Yeah, right there. Look at that hole. The way he just goes through that hole right there. I love this. Goes right up the middle, bounces outside off of the center, gets more yards.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see out of an NFL running back. You need to have good vision in the NFL, or you're not going to do good.
Yeah.
Next running back I have. Number 3, Javonte Williams out of North Carolina. This guy's a beast. Yeah. He reminds me a little bit of Le'Veon Bell at times. He's patient behind the line, and that's where I got the Le'Veon Bell kind of thing. Le'Veon Bell is always good. He's great. He has good vision. He has good power. He's potential to be a good pass blocker. He's not afraid to take up those big linebackers whenever needed. Sometimes he gets off balance and he gets over his toes, though, and he needs to develop in pass catching. His pass catching isn't the best. He is very hard to take down. So I love that about Javonte Williams, and I'm just going to go ahead and go on to the 4th running back. My 4th running back is Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis. He's a great pass catcher. He's the best pass catcher out of my top 5 here. He is small in size.
Who did you say?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Okay.
He is a good pass catcher.
I was listening. I didn't hear the name.
Yeah. He's small in size, but he's not afraid of contact, and that's what I love about him. He's going to get knocked on his ass sometimes, but he's not afraid to get back up. He might have a hard time with blocking because of this, but I don't think he's not afraid of contact, so he'll be fine. He's a north to south runner, which is very odd for a running back his size, which I love about him. And he does get knocked down easily because of that smaller size, and sometimes his vision is inconsistent, and that's what I think he would need to improve on. And my last running back here is Jamar Jefferson out of Oregon State.
Okay.
I couldn't find another running back. I didn't like Michael Carter out of North Carolina. I didn't like Chuba Hubbard. I like Jamar Jefferson. I think when he gets down to the later running backs, Jamar Jefferson is an electrifying running back. He's fast. He fights for yards, but he is not physical. But he is that home run hitter kind of running back that I feel like whenever you're farther into the draft on running backs, I think if it might not be a bad idea to take a home run hitter. So let me pull up his game against Oregon versus Oregon State. And this man in this game went off. And you can see his explosiveness whenever it loads. What do you think about Jamar Jefferson now?
If I'm gonna be totally honest, I don't even know really much about him, so I'm really curious to see what this is. Actually, wait, I watched the game with him. I watched this game, and he went off in this game.
Yeah,
he went absolutely off in this game. It was a very high scoring game too.
You just saw the burst of speed through the offensive line right there.
Yeah.
You saw his vision.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, he took off.
I don't see that out of the other running backs. And I don't know why he's so low ranked on some of these like CBS or ESPN rankings on running backs. I think he's a good running back, but he does need to improve. I mean, everybody needs to improve in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, you don't come into out of the draft a Hall of Famer, so.
But he's just got burst. He's got speed, and I think that's what makes him.
You know what he ran in his 40 was?
I do not know his 40.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna figure this out. He got good speed.
I actually watched this game during the regular season too, and that's where I kind of learned about him. I liked him a lot. He does go down easily though. He doesn't break those leg tackles.
It says that he ran a 4.55.
Really? I'm very surprised by that. He looks a lot faster than that.
Yeah, because I'll just say this: Najee Harris ran a 4.41.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. Give it off to you. Let's see your top 5 running backs.
So I'll just start by saying this: all your running backs just toasted my Notre Dame defense in all your videos.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of hurt. I'm kind of hurt by that.
I looked at all the. I mean, you have to go against the best defenses. You have to
see
I
understand
what they put up against.
They just toasted my Notre Dame defense. I couldn't watch it.
If you can beat the best defense, then I think you're a good player. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm gonna start off by saying Najee Harris is my number one back right now, and I mean, there's just he just literally does everything. He can truck, he can juke, he's athletic, he's got good speed, and he's a good pass catching back. So in this first video, so you can just see he has good truck. I mean, he just does about everything. He has a good cut, and then he just good juke move, and then he just blows through. He keeps on blowing through the. So I just think that's a great. He's very powerful, and I think that's just amazing. I've liked him since 2018 when he came to Alabama. I watched him a couple times, and he just looked explosive.
Yeah.
And he's just gotten better and better and better. I would honestly compare his game to Saquon Barkley. I think he has the same type of athleticism that Saquon Barkley has, and I mean, he's got good speed, he's got good power, and can juke. And then on the second video, I think this is just a athletic play, and I'm gonna have to toast my Notre Dame defense on this
Yeah.
video because
Toast that defense, boy.
I guarantee everyone has seen this video. Everyone have seen this. As it comes up, 1 second. Come on. But in 2019, he ran for 1,224 yards, 13 touchdowns, with 304 yards and 7 touchdown reception wise. And then in 2023, he ran for 1,466 yards and 26 touchdowns, and then had 43 receptions, 424 yards with 4 touchdowns. This is not loading, so that's great. But
because you're using Microsoft Edge.
Yeah, this is what I get. But either which way, other than that, besides that, I think that if you've seen this play, he just absolutely jumps over the Notre Dame defender, and it's just amazing. I don't know what's going on.
You're good.
Let's just do that. So I'm a hold up. Hey, this is not working. So yeah, Najee Harris is my number 1 back. I think he's amazing. I think he's a lot better than most of the other backs in this draft, and I think that whatever team gets him is going to get a really good player that will be a Hall of Famer. My next running back is going to be Travis Etienne out of Clemson. I actually kind of had a hard time figuring out if I wanted to put him at 2 or not. I like him a lot, and I think he's a great pass catching back. And I mean, you can see that he's had probably about over 1,000 yards, reception yards through this year, and it just goes to show that he can catch the ball. With that, one thing I don't like is he's a 5'10", 205, which is not that bad, but he's not the biggest back, so I think that can hurt him sometimes. But he is elusive and he can make those plays. He breaks tackles, and I think that's great. I think his balance is probably one of the most things I like the most about him. I would compare his balance to like Alvin Kamara, and it just goes to show that he can take hits and stay on his feet. With my third running back, probably. Oh, another thing about Travis Etienne is that he is the fastest running back out of my 5. He runs a 4.4 40 time, so he got speed. My third running back would probably be Devontae Williams. I think he's probably like Nick Chubb comparison in my mind. He's 5'10", 220 pounds, and he just can blow up people. He can just run through them.
I like that comparison.
Yeah, I think that I think if one thing he could get better at is probably better pass catching back. He's only had about around 500,000 reception yards. Oh wait, no, sorry, 500 reception yards throughout his 2 years at North Carolina. So if he become a better pass catching back, I think that would really upgrade his game, and he would do a lot better. He can break tackles. He can run through players. He's got decent speed. He runs a 4.5 40 time, but the man is huge, so I wouldn't expect him to run anything crazy. My fourth running back in the draft is going to be actually, I'm going to go off the rails what you were saying. I'm going to take Michael Carter at 4. I think that he has crazy elusiveness like Travis Etienne does. I think that he has pretty good vision, and he can break tackles, and he has pretty good speed. He runs a 4.5 40 time. Again, he needs to be a better pass catching back, but that can develop in his NFL and stuff. My last my last running back is gonna be Trey Sermon from Ohio State. I think honestly, I think he kind of reminds me a little bit of Le'Veon Bell, but a little bit slower. My only thing about him is he's really slow. He's not that fast.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because I'm looking at him, I'm like, bro, you can break away, and then he
No, he just
gets
gets
tackled
caught.
up by,
Yeah,
and
his
it's just
speed
like if
is not good.
he had breakaway speed, then he'd be a lot better, but he doesn't. But
Mhm.
he has a really good stiff arm and he can juke. And I just feel like the game kind of slows down for him. He can make those moves and stuff so that he can get around defenders and stuff.
Yeah, he's
So
shifty.
yeah, so but he's slow and I think that hurts him a lot.
Yeah,
That's my
what was his 40?
his 40 was a 4.58, but I don't. That's the
What
same.
was
That's the same. That was the same as Javonte Williams.
what was
And
Clyde's?
huh?
What was Clyde? Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let me look.
Yeah. You want me to move on to wide
Yeah, we can
receivers
move
now?
on. Yeah.
All right. So going off into the wide receivers. My first wide receiver is Jalen Waddle.
Wait. Okay, go.
I did wide receivers. I did not do pass catchers.
Hey, no. That's cool. Jalen Waddle. I like
Jalen
that.
Waddle.
I don't
Jalen Waddle is my first wide receiver.
better
I
than
think,
Jamal.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
I think he's more well-rounded.
Edwards-Helaire ran a 4.6.
Yeah, so he's like a little Edwards-Helaire. He's a little shifty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like Edwards-Helaire though better. I think he's better out of college. But
Yes.
Jalen Waddle though, this guy, when I watched him, I'm very surprised that all these analysts think that he is like, I don't know. They think he's like the third best wide receiver in the draft. I think this man is the best wide receiver in the draft. I think he's the most polished. He has electrifying speed and burst. His route running is great. He's a great open field runner. He can be your punt returner. The thing is, he is not big. He does drop ball at times, but he's a decent downfield blocker. His horizontal movement is insane. He can probably move as fast horizontal as he can lateral.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think that's the same thing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
His tracking ability is probably one of his best traits.
Yeah.
He can track the ball really well. And I'm going to show you a clip here from Georgia, his game against Georgia. This is what I mean by his tracking ability. And also, he's very balanced upon contact. So I think Jalen Waddle overall is the best wide receiver in this draft, as he did have an injury last year, which kind of prevented his draft stock from rising. But I think he is good enough now and healthy enough now, and he's trained for the NFL and trained for going to the next level. I think he's going to be ready for the next level, and I think whatever team gets him is going to be very happy with their pick. So let me show you this clip here. There's this one clip I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
And this is against Georgia, so pretty good defense.
Okay.
So this play right here.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this play. So what he does, he's on the very top right here, right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he's right there. He's that one. And he goes up, and then he comes back over the wide receiver in order to get that leverage over him, in order to come get that ball as well. It was perfect placement by Mac Jones as well. He came on the inside because he knew he was on the outside, and he knew that if he would come back over to that receiver like that, then he had a touchdown for sure. I think this just shows his tracking ability and where he puts himself in place to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very close competition between Jalen Waddle and Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase is my second one. He's very physical. He's not as big as you think, though. Like you think, but you can't tell that by looking on the field. If you look on the field, he looks like a Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones type of wide receiver, but he's not. He's not as big.
He's 6 foot 208.
Which kind of concerns me at the same time, because if he does get in the NFL and he acts like Calvin Johnson and Julio Jones, then he's just not going to be that player as they were, because he doesn't have that size. But who knows? He can develop into a different kind of player. He's got the athleticism to do that. He knows one of his best trait, I think, is he knows the best place to catch the ball. He's great at last second adjustments and body positioning in order to catch the ball. His catch radius is insane. He needs to work on getting consistent releases. His releases are sometimes kind of slow and doesn't get very much separation off the jump, but he has great hands in traffic. He does maybe not separation. He just needs to get better consistent releases. He does get separation, but he needs to get better in downfield blocking. At times I saw that he was kind of just slacking on the downfield blocking and giving up on plays that he wasn't a part of. And he's very good at after the catch. So with that being said, my third wide receiver is DeVonta Smith. This guy is the Heisman. He can line up all across the field. He's going to be the wide receiver that is going to be very significant towards an offense. It's going to be a threat every week for the opposing team because he can run around all over the field. He's going to be doing a lot of motioning. He has clean releases. He has the best releases out of this wide receiver class. He has great route running. His hands are pretty good. Actually, they're really good.
Yeah, there was that one play. It was like almost looked like Odell.
Oh, yeah. He's got great hands.
Yeah.
And the only thing for him, he's just small. He needs to gain some weight and get bulkier. My fourth wide receiver is Kadarius Toney out of Florida. Now, watching this guy is very fast. He gets separation, and I just think he's going to be a great player in the NFL, unlike some of these analysts have been saying. And my last wide receiver is Dyami Brown out of North Carolina.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and take the lead, go for it.
Yeah. I'm just going to start off by saying this. I'm not doing my top 5 wide receivers. I'm doing the top 5 pass catchers because my number 1 is Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is a dynamic player coming out of this draft. He's my favorite player coming out of this draft. I think that if you don't have if you need a wide receiver and you're looking for a wide receiver and this man's on the board and you don't have Travis Kelce or George Kittle, you better take this man. Simple as that. This man is
big
crazy.
On this guy?
Yes, this man is a hybrid. It's just not just because he's a hybrid. He's 6'6", 246 pounds, and runs a 4.44. Man can move for his size, and he's got the physicality to make up for it. I mean, he's a matchup nightmare. You're gonna put a smaller corner on him. He's just gonna use his physical and just push him out of the way to make the catch. If you put a linebacker on him, he's just gonna burn him. It's just you can't do like what was it? One of the coaching staff said about Kyle Pitts is that he's a unicorn, and the only way you can guard him is by putting another unicorn on him. So you better have a Lavonte David or Evan White guarding this man, because if not, he's gonna just tear up whoever you have on him. The man, this is just surprising to me whenever I heard this. He has a larger wingspan and has larger hands than Megatron. I think that's just crazy to me because Megatron, we all know, man was a beast in the NFL. No one could guard him. And he's just bigger. He's just bigger, but he's a hybrid. My comparison would probably be Darren Waller. I think that he had kind of like speed as him and like physicality. So yeah, Kyle Pitts, my number 1 because that man's just crazy. My number 2 would probably be Jamar Chase because I think he's gonna be really good coming into this draft, and he's gonna just tear up the league. I compare him to Devontae Adams. I think he has probably the best route running in the draft.
You think he has better route running than Devontae Smith?
I think he has really good route running because one thing about him, you talked about his like separation and stuff. And I want to say they need separation, but he uses his physicality to get that separation. He uses that. He uses his body. He knows how to use it to move it in certain ways to get the better. Yeah, and I think that just makes him better. Yeah. And so, I mean, he tore it up. He opted out this past year due to COVID and stuff. But 2019, he just tore it up. He had 84 receptions, 1,780 yards, and 20 touchdowns.
Yeah,
He
I
just
mean,
tore it up.
you saw what Justin Jefferson did to the league, and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Many NFL analysts are saying that Jamar Chase is better. So
Way better. People were saying that he's probably the biggest thing wide receiver wise to come out of the draft since Julio Jones. That's
whoa,
saying something. That is saying something. So, I mean, best route runner, and he's very physical. I think he's going to just tear it up. He ran at 4.38 too, so he can move. My third wide receiver or pass catcher is going to be Jalen Waddle. I like him a lot. He has crazy speed. I think they said that his 40 time was 4.37. I think he's a lot faster than that. That was like 2018, I think.
oh yeah, he's definitely faster.
There was someone on the Alabama coaching staff, I think, said someone asked them saying, "Who would you take in a 40, Henry Ruggs or Jalen Waddle?" And to remind you what Henry Ruggs ran in the NFL Combine
something, right?
was a 4.22, and he
Yeah.
said Jalen Waddle would win. That just blows my mind. You're
Yeah,
saying
he's
that
fast.
Jalen Waddle's going to run faster than a 4.22. That is just crazy. So
I think Jalen Waddle's better than Henry Ruggs too.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I think he's going to come into the league and he's like, because Henry Ruggs kind of had an okay start with the Raiders and stuff. So, but I think whatever team Jalen Waddle goes to, he's just going to tear it up. Yeah. So that I think he's fast. He has a great route running and he has a good release. So I think the only thing maybe he could work on is like just. I mean, he's not. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know because he kind of does a lot of things right.
That's why I had a hard time deciding between Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle. I think they're two different wide receivers, but they're too good at what they do as a wide receiver when given the ball. So like,
yeah. And I mean, one thing.
Don't even forget Devontae Smith. Don't forget Devontae Smith.
Oh no, I won't. I mean, see, Devontae Smith. He's my number 4. I put him at number 4. I like him. I think he has the best release out of all these wide receivers. It's just crazy. And one thing I want to add this. I think he has probably the greatest IQ, like IQ for route running out of the draft. Because there are certain things that he does that like knows how to manipulate the corners or
that is
safety.
Something I did notice about him. He is very smart.
Yeah. He is very smart and he can manipulate using certain motions and head movements.
Yeah. He will be a zone nightmare. That's why I think he's going to be significant threat every week. He's going to be like a Tyreek Hill. You have to know where he is at all times on the field. He is going to be a zone destroyer. He will destroy the zone.
Yeah. He's freaking crazy. Like there was a video I saw and it was simple, like just knowing he used the head fake and it like brought down the safety down and then he just ran past him by using a head fake. And I just think that's great IQ and I think that's probably some of the wide receivers in the draft that don't have it all. And he's been at Alabama for 4 years, so he's well coached. He knows the game of football, especially being coached by Nick Saban. So, I put him at number 4, but like I said, don't doubt Devontae Smith. Whatever team he goes to, he's gonna be good. The only thing I had bad about him is his size, and I know a lot of people say don't like make that a big factor, but I mean it is because you're going to be playing a lot more physical corners in the NFL. It's not going to be like college ball, and you can get thrown around. But I think he'll find a way to get past that. So, and whatever coach has him will use him so that he doesn't have to deal with that by lining him off the ball or bringing him in motion or anything. So he'll still be good.
He's going to be in the NFL workout program. So
my 5th wide receiver pass catcher is Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. I like him a lot. He's big. He's 6. Whatever. Shush it. Just let me talk. 6'2".
Go for it.
6'2", 216.
He's big.
I think he has great hands. And I think that's gonna make him good. He
does not have good hands.
What do you mean? Whatever.
Dude, I was watching him play against freaking Purdue, and this man dropped like 5 or 6 balls. And I watched another clip because I was like, this couldn't have been a good game for him. And he dropped another fucking 5 to 6 balls.
And I think he has really good yards after the catch.
He's good after the catch.
And he can move. He runs a 4.39.
Yeah. The only thing
So
he can't line up everywhere in the field. He lines up on
mhm.
the inside pretty much every time. I
I
think
think he's a
unless
red
I'm
zone
thinking,
threat now.
yeah, he's a red zone threat.
He
But
has that. He's big. He can use his body.
overall, though, these pass catchers are going to be very dangerous, especially your top
Yeah.
four, my top three. I didn't put in Kyle Pitts in there, but those guys are
Mhm.
going to be something special in the NFL, I think, I
Yeah.
believe. And even if it does take a year or two to develop, I think they're still going to be stars in the NFL eventually. I think this wide receiver class
Oh,
is very stacked.
yeah.
So, would you like to
I
say
do have
anything
a
before
question
we?
for you.
All right, what's my
I have a
question?
question. I mean, we could go on a little bit more, but do you think this wide receiver class is better than last year's?
Who was in last year's?
CeeDee
Justin
Lamb,
Jefferson, CeeDee
CeeDee
Lamb.
Lamb, Justin Jefferson,
Hmm.
um, Jerry Judy,
See, that's a hard. Wide receivers or like pass catchers? Because you
wide
put pass
receivers.
catchers in there. Okay, wide receivers.
Yeah,
I think they're just as good.
you can take Kyle Pitts out of this, but
I think they're just as good.
just as good.
I can't make any decisions on who's going to be better. I haven't seen them play in
Yeah,
the NFL yet, but I
yeah.
think they have the potential to be better.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how these guys do because I thought last year's class really showed up.
yeah,
And
I'm very excited about this year's wide receiver class. I think the quarterback class is pretty it's all right. It's kind of
yeah,
weak,
yeah.
but I mean they do got Trevor Lawrence, which boosted it a little bit. The running back class is all right, besides out of like the
Mhm.
top two. But this wide receiver class is kind of stacked, and so is the offensive line, and some of the
Mhm.
other people we'll be getting into later in some of them other episodes. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So thank you guys for
Mhm.
coming on and watching. Please like, subscribe. Any comments that you have, leave them down in the video. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Just want to say thank you guys for watching. This is our dream to do something like this, so it'd be amazing if you guys would just like and subscribe and help us out. Just thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for this time on the War Room. Keep it real out there.